Welcome to our Energy Matters with Anthony, Manna, and Dena Marie.
Here we are. I'm here. I'm Anthony, and I'm happy to see Dena Marie today. Hello, here we are, and we meet weekly. We try to meet weekly. I think we skipped one time and share our journey, our life's journey, and also I spend a lot of time because I'm learning so much. You can see the dog ears, the little post-it sticking up all over the place. This is Dena Marie's book, Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading. Learn how to manifest your heartfelt intentions. We had a conversation today before the Zoom where we talked about 5 things that we're thankful for, you know, and that's something that now I didn't meditate today yet, but in my meditations, I try to remember the 5 things because you reminded me of that a long time ago. And the other thing is, what is your intention for the day? And I find that very cleansing, you know, and sometimes it's so simple to say, my intention for the day is to be patient. My intention for the day is to get rid of that pile over there that's been sitting there for 2 months now, and I'm afraid of it because it's growing. You know, I mean, sometimes it's very simple, and sometimes, you know, it's learning to be more loving with my son. You know, my adult son. And so the intention, and I'm saying that now because I hope people are listening and watching this, because I think this kind of freedom, that's what it reminds me of. It's like the learning to be yourself, which is one of the principles of your book. Early on you ask, and I can't remember this, I don't know if you can, you say, who am I? You ask that question, then you answer it by saying, do you remember?
I am I, and everything else is just an illusion.
I am I. Yeah, I am I. And when I first read it, I thought, arrogant. And then I started realizing that it has nothing to do with arrogance. It has something to do with reality, you know, and the fact that we can claim that. And that's the beginning of loving oneself. But you said something else in our phone conversation too about that I can't remember how we got to it, but you said, there it is again. It's that the business of coming to love ourselves, you know, and that's so important, you know, because we can get past sometimes in my writing, and I should mention that every week I try to write a bit of a narrative about what I'm finding, but I think that that one of the main things that I keep finding as a cornerstone, one of the principles that you profess, is the idea of loving yourself, learning to love yourself. And sometimes when I watch you healing young children, older children, that tobacco chewing guy that we talked about last time, you know, that it's all about you're reaching out with loving kindness to help them become loving to themselves.
And ultimately, when I was taking a young lady to dance class who I'd been mentoring and doing chakra readings with, and I looked at her and I said, you know what? You're me at 16. So every time I am engaged or helping, I'm really probably helping parts of myself grow and love myself too.
Well, that's so important to hear. And I think that's what's happening to me. Well, you know, why don't I read the piece that I wrote? Because when I say I think it's happening to me, I'm really very clear about that I'm, for example, colors. You know, colors meant very little. I mean, it was okay. You know, I mean, I like style and I like color and I like, you know, not clashing colors and that type of thing. But never before did I understand about the colors of crystal and how important they are until I started seeing you. Well, you say our energy matters, the art of crystal reading. You know, that was bewildering to me. And then I think a couple of times in these conversations on Zoom, we talked about what you meant by reading, you know, and that's been very illuminating. So I say here in a writing that I'm going back to, because it's one of the earlier ones, I say, old guy still writing, old guy at a threshold. My dictionary tells me a threshold is, quote, a point of entry or beginning, or this, quote, the magnitude or intensity that must be exceeded for a certain reaction, phenomenon, result, or condition to occur or be manifested. So I see myself standing there at the threshold as my intensity of thought, feeling, promise is about to step into and then exceed a revelation that charges into a reaction, a phenomenon, a result, a condition exactly of late. I'm wonder-captivated by the energy within me, brought on, no, actually uncovered by gazing into prisms of mildly electrified, multicolored crystals. Burnished rocks, spiritual, earth-found, endowed pieces of unearthed, earthy consciousness, waiting at my threshold's point of entry, beckoning a touch, a choice of which sets off my very own personal reaction, phenomenon, result, or condition, as guided, willed, read, deliberated by the angel-blessed spirit mentor, counselor, confidant, tutor, teacher, guru, consulted, Dena Marie. Magic lady of West coastal currents, riding the storm, riding high the phenomenal winds of safe being. Oh God, I really like that, because it's a harbor, safe being, protected, nurtured, self, or yes, selves emerging, transforming, discovering with within the solemnity of her sacrosanct book, Our Energy Matters, the Art of Crystal Healing, reading How to Manifest Your Heartfelt Intentions, a book suffused with healing colors, startled energies, soul stories, spirit memories. Old guy, learning, magic lady of the ecstasy, spread, brighten, again spread your healing colors. You know.
It's beautiful. And you wrote that during our we weren't being able to go places. And you and I were just doing our once a week conversation, an hour on the phone. And then you started writing. So your chakra started opening up. And then you wrote these beautiful things that helped me get through some dark times. And yet you were see how reciprocal it was? This whole relationship. So it's healthy. It's good for our chakras. And we love our conversations. And your writings are lifting my spirits. It's been awesome.
Yeah,
this relationship.
And I think it is for me too. I mean, I don't glide over it. It's like I really have to consider some of the pieces that I need to incorporate into what I'm feeling and thinking that particular day, so that I can be brought to the cornerstone, let's put it that way, or the stepping stone, that's even better, to some reality.
And I just figured out what you've done. You were the prescription for my brow chakra. So when you are writing, I'm there. So I was just at the beach. I was at the heart. I was at all these places that you were painting for me, right? And you were helping me keep my spirits up, because it was so hard I'll say the word hard, the H word. It was so hard at that time to look at things, because we didn't want to. I tell the people I work with, I don't think I remember last year, but there's certain highlights that I do. And I think your writings helped me lift my spirits, keep going like a soldier. So that's a prescription, right? That's why writing as a Leo and being creative is so important for us. And when we are watching television, that's taken away. So thank you, because you just made me see how important your writings have been through this journey.
Well, and I think probably they're just as important for me, aren't they? I mean, in terms of what it has opened me to. I mean, some of the time, and we'll go back to it, I hope, but some of the time we've been looking specifically at the chakras. And once again, I find that it's okay to repeat some of this, because they're there all the time. They're either they're either salvation and safety, or they're blocked. And that the blockages is what I also was treasuring, because it's so wonderful to know, because when you've got the blockage, then there's a prescription in your book, a prescription for finding the health.
Well, and I used to have a meditation that I gave away. It was called Color Your World. And it would help you keep your third eye open, your brow chakra. But yeah, colors. I wrote something the other day on Facebook that life is so black and white. And people said, oh, that's pretty depressing. But because you get to a point where you don't see color anymore. So that's why when I do go out, I look for the light. I look for the color. I take the photo. And it does lift people's spirits. But when you're down, you see things colorless, right? So colors. You said you were awakened to colors again.
Yeah. Yes. And I write about that further with the piece that I just read to you. I extend that into the colors that I keep, what I keep discovering in the colors, and then it makes me more aware of the color that I see around me, and how significant that is sometimes, or the colors that I choose. Today I had the choice of either black or white. I don't know, I just got there. It was either black or white, and I chose black. And I kept wondering why, the weather is pretty dismal right now, but it was also because we're dealing with, we're coming to our first so-called holiday, or holidays, end of the year, and we're dealing with the passing of a brother who just died several months ago. And so that's, in a way, when I was growing up, and I remember seeing this all around me, my Italian mother's very good friends would start wearing black, and they never stopped after a husband or a son or a daughter died. And I remember when my father died, people said to my mother, are you going to wear black every day? And she said, no, I'm not going to go there. And she broke away from a very, very demanding tradition. I mean, people, I'm sure, really looked at her like, why is she getting dressed like that when she's not supposed to, when she should be wearing black? But I think that it's okay to wear the black as long as you see the possibility for rejuvenating yourself and celebrating the person who died in some fashion.
Well, and black is protection. So you have some heavy duty things you do on this day, right? So it's a good color to wear to kind of keep your energy to yourself and protect yourself. So after a passing, yeah, wear some black. But if you wear it too long, it's in my book, right? It's depressing. It's depression, period. And so I can go to people's houses because I do in-home stuff, and I tell them to take all their clothes and put them in the colors of the rainbow. And when you only have black in your closet, you need me. But some people will have all yellow, and I'm like, who are you trying to impress? I mean, what do you want people to see you, don't you? And they're like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm seen. And I love the color, and that's how this whole book started, right? With the colors, and then the crystals, because it started with crayons. And you get kids picking their favorite colors over and over again, and you're like, you're still at pink. We got to get you somewhere out of your head. Or my kids are always so different. One liked, the blue. Oh, he calls it baby blue, but they all are so different. But yet my 3 kids are different. And that's in the book too. How they taught me so much. But color, just seeing what people wear every day is a reading. Or a crystal. I'm learning to love myself. So I got my rose quartz, pink.
Yeah. No, I think that, well, I think all of a sudden, especially the way you describe the healing that goes with the reading the crystals, and the choices that people make. I mean, this is all new to me, and so I'm sure it's probably new to a lot of people who are watching us, and that's why I think we can do that again. We can go and we can look at the healing and what the reading of what crystal reading actually means is so important.
And really it's the ones that are missing and the combination. So I think you were missing throat chakra and your power chakra when we first started conversing and did a reading, and you were having writer's block. So it's perfect. You feel powerless because you can't express yourself. So over time you started, we didn't ask you to write anything. We asked you to let go of the past. And you did. And then you started opening up your throat chakra and writing these beautiful writings, like I just said, that got me through some rough times. And now we're going to do another show. We're going to do 2 shows. We're going to do a show Friday, and then Christmas, what's it called? New Year's Eve. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, well, I think it's important for people, because I say here, if you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 1150 AM KKNW. She hosts, or sometimes she has guest hosts, but it's always very enlightening because it draws on musicians, poets, writers of all kinds, family members, and they're a philosopher, and so it goes very deeply, I think, the radio program, and I love being on it, and I look forward to doing that this week. Her website is dena-marie.com, and my website is Anthony Manna, M-A-N-N-A, anthonymannabooks.com, because if you go to the media section, you'll find an interview that I did with Dena Marie, and you'll also find a lot of other interviews with writers and other kinds of people, not only writers, but also people who have something important to say to keep us wondering about how we can grow. So that's my Podbean podcast at anthonymannabooks.com. And it's been a joy, Dena Marie. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And everybody, goodbye, everybody. And happy holidays to all of you, whatever holiday you celebrate. Goodbye.